when a child is born, particularly a boy, when they have their bris at 8 days old, they become part and parcel of the covenant of Abraham. And for a girl, it's automatic. They receive their Jewish name. They become a daughter of Sarah. And so what is it that takes place at that age without the intellectual ability, without the ability to understand, without any rational ideas behind what it means to be a Jew? Because it transcends the intellect. It transcends even the emotions. I teach a lot of students for their bar and bar mitzvah. And I always ask them, what are we doing at the bar mitzvah? And very often they'll say, becoming a man, becoming a woman. But it's more than that. Because at the moment they get called up to the Torah, they're actually accepting upon themselves to be Jewish. They're saying, till now it wasn't my choice. Till now it was forced upon me. But now I'm at the age where I stand in front of the Torah and say, Asher b'chabanu mikol hamim v'natan lanu et Torato notein haTorah. Thank you, God, for blessing me with this Torah. I accept it. It's mine now. It's my conscious decision. But the truth of the matter is, that's not when they become Jewish. You would think if it's a conscious decision that they're making at 12 and 13, then that should be the moment where it becomes their citizenship, their right. Before that, they're not yet a citizen of the Jewish people, so to speak. The connection that a Jew has with their faith is something when they are born that happens even when they don't even understand what is taking place. At the moment of the bris, the child is 8 days old. What can they possibly grasp about understanding to be part of this religion? Because we are basically telling the child, and we're telling the family, that being born a Jew is a familial connection that is unable to be severed, just like a family member is unable to ever truly be severed biologically from their family. This reminds me of the time that my brother, when he was 9 years old, ran away from home. Happens. Kids get upset the way they're being treated, and the only real leverage they have is to say, I'm out. And so he ran away from home. But there's two versions to the story as to what happened and how he came back. One version of the story was that he saw a dog and he was afraid of dogs, so he ran home. The other version is he got to the end of the road, and one of my parents' rules were you can't cross the street by yourself, and you have to always have an adult there with you walking across the street. And he couldn't walk across, so he went back home. You see, for us as Jews, we sometimes hear an inner voice inside of us, even when we depart from the ways of our ancestors, that sometimes calls us back and says, this is your identity, this is your soul, this is something that's deeper within you, that sort of niggles away at us. It gnaws at our conscience. Now, where does this come from? Where does this originate? And so the idea is that Judaism is more than just a religion. Judaism is a very unique and special family. And this family, just like a child, can never really separate from their parents, even if they are furious at their parents, they're detached from them. There is a tie biologically to their parents. The same thing applies with a Jew to God and to his religion and to his soul. Being the fact that that soul is tied all the way back to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, to the Jews who stood by Mount Sinai and heard the Torah, that soul will always be present there like a familial bond that will not allow that person to be completely disconnected. You can intellectually have a disagreement. You can try and separate yourself emotionally from that family, but there'll always be that connection. There is a famous line that actually the Lubavitcher Rebbe used in his opening address, becoming a Rebbe where he undertook the mantle of leadership. And his first address was based on the line, Basi Lagani Achosi Kala. Come to my garden, my sister, my bride. Who would you say has a closer relationship? A bride or a sister? Clearly you would say a bride, because the love is so much more deep and impactful and permanent. You create a family. Obviously the intimacy is greater. But yet there is the expression of sister there as well. And the reason the expression of sister is used, because as deep and as profound and as greatly connected the two are as husband and wife, as bride and groom, and as powerful the love is, there is the option, there is the possibility for that one day to be severed. and for that to be separated. But between a brother and a sister, or two sisters or two brothers, no matter how much you dislike them, no matter how much you disagree with them, no matter how much you want to run away, there is a bond, there is a connection that will never be able to be severed. You will always be brother and sister. And so within the Jew, there is that connection that transcends all of our other emotional and intellectual capacities and faculties, and that is our soul. And our soul is connected to our faith, connected to our ancestors, connected to those who came before us. Whether we realize it or not, whether we want to accept it or not, it is there. So once it's there already, we may as well embrace it. Perhaps that's where Jewish guilt comes from. Those who try to run away, those who try to excuse themselves, will always be pulled back by that connection, always reminding them of who they are deep, deep down beneath their conscious awareness. And that is something that if we can't run away from it, let's just embrace it and let's recognize it's something to be proud of.
If you like that video, hit the subscribe button and notification bell below for hours of the best Jewish content online.